Welcome to AI Dispatch, your channel for the latest AI videos on YouTube. If you don't want to miss these updates, please like, subscribe, and share. Today's video comes from OpenAI. CEO Sam Altman recently delivered a town hall presentation where he laid out a series of predictions that fundamentally conflict with established economic and organizational principles. His framework centers on AI-driven deflation, reshaping everything from software development costs to corporate hiring strategies. The commentary examines his technical reasoning and its implications for conventional business models. Consider a scenario where $100 of compute inference replaces what currently requires an entire software engineering team working for 12 months. Sam Altman not only considers this feasible, he assigns it a concrete deadline, late 2024 or early 2025. This represents a complete reversal of how the tech industry calculates value and labor. The existing model treats software development as a linear function of headcount, time, and capital. Altman describes a transition into what he calls radical abundance. His specific claim within this time frame, a single developer equipped with $100 to $1,000 of inference capacity will generate output equivalent to what previously demanded a full team across an entire year. Underlying this projection is an economic inversion regarding inflation and pricing. Standard economic theory warns that technology monopolies drive costs upward. Altman's analysis runs in the opposite direction. He explicitly states that AI will prove massively deflationary. His reasoning intelligence serves as the primary input for services, software development, and eventually robotics. When intelligence transitions from a scarce, expensive resource to something too cheap to meter, everything built on top of it must experience corresponding price collapse. We are witnessing a shift from intelligence as a limited commodity to intelligence as an effectively unlimited resource. The next component of his analysis will unsettle corporate leadership and human resources departments because it targets the foundational structure of the modern organization. Conventional organizational theory holds that as companies scale, they require proportionally larger workforces to manage increasing complexity. Altman describes an emerging model he calls the fully AI company. He directly warns that traditional organizations currently operate under internal policies and human-centric frameworks that were designed without contemplating AI as co-workers. His forecast, companies that resist aggressive AI integration will be outcompeted by new entities that may consist of little more than a rack of GPUs and a minimal human team. This extends beyond simple automation. The competitive variable is velocity. While most organizations pursue aggressive hiring, OpenAI itself plans to decelerate hiring growth, expecting to accomplish significantly more with fewer people. The paradox is striking. The leading AI company, positioned at the center of an AI boom, identifies the optimal strategy as maintaining a small, high-agency team leveraging millions of AI agents rather than building a massive workforce. Competitive advantage shifts from talent density to minimal human friction. This framework leads directly to a counterintuitive position on privacy and security. Cybersecurity has operated for decades on the principle of least privilege. Never grant a system more access than absolutely necessary. Security professionals consistently warn against providing software with full permissions. Altman admits he personally violated this principle almost immediately. He recounts an experience with a coding agent where he initially refused to grant it full computer access. That resistance lasted approximately 2 hours. He bases this decision on what he describes as the lazy user theory. The utility and convenience of an agent with complete access to your hard drive, history, and email correspondence is so overwhelming that users will voluntarily trade privacy for competence. He now accepts ChatGPT looking at his whole computer and knowing everything. The paradigm shift: privacy will not be forcibly extracted, it will be voluntarily surrendered because the alternative, performing the work manually, is too inefficient. His stance on technology and childhood development contradicts what many would expect from someone in this position. One might assume the CEO of the world's leading AI company would advocate for early AI literacy in education, beginning in kindergarten. Instead, he takes a position that conflicts with the progressive technology narrative: keep computers out of early childhood education. Despite the AI revolution, he believes fundamental human developmental needs remain unchanged. Young children should be running around outside, playing with physical objects, and learning human interaction, not staring at screens. This creates A paradox. The person building machines that can pass the bar exam and diagnose diseases believes the best preparation for that future is avoiding the technology entirely during formative years. It implies that in a world of artificial intelligence, the premium on raw human development actually increases rather than decreases. This connects to a deeper insight about creativity and human value. There exists widespread concern that AI will replace artists because it can generate technically superior images. Altman acknowledges that in blind tests, people often rank AI-generated images higher than human ones due to technical perfection. However, he identifies a deep psychological truth that defies efficiency logic. Once people discover an image is AI-generated, their appreciation plummets. He references a slur used in science fiction for robots clankers and notes, "We possess a deep-seated bias against the machine." His interpretation: we do not consume art for the output, we consume it for the human connection. If he reads a great book, he wants to know about the author's life. If it turns out to be AI written, he feels crestfallen. This redefines the product of art. The product is not the image or the text. The product is the human story behind it. Therefore, even if AI becomes infinitely capable, it cannot compete on the one metric that matters most to humans, being human. Finally, his position on safety and biosecurity contradicts standard containment approaches. The traditional response to dangerous technology, nuclear weapons, bioagents is containment and restriction. We attempt to block access. Altman states this model will fail with AI. He explicitly claims that blocking people from creating novel pathogens using AI will not work for much longer. Instead, he proposes shifting from prevention to resilience. He uses the analogy of fire. Society did not stop fires by banning fire. We stopped cities from burning down by inventing fire codes and flame retardant materials. He believes we are entering an era where we must assume the fire of dangerous AI capabilities will exist and be accessible. The safety strategy, therefore, is not to lock the model away, but to build a society-wide immune system, a resilient infrastructure that can withstand inevitable attacks. This is a move from a fortress mentality to a biological immunity mentality. Altman's analytical method follows a consistent pattern. He dismisses socially constructed conventions and focuses exclusively on the trajectory of the technology. Whether it is the collapse of software costs, the surrender of privacy for convenience, or the impossibility of containment, he assumes that utility and physics will always override tradition and sentiment. The question remains, if these trajectories actually materialize, are we prepared for a world where the logic of efficiency overrides the logic of humanity? If you're interested in the video featured in this episode, click the link below to watch the original.